In the world of cybersecurity, there are some names that just stand out, people who are synonymous with the fight against online threats. Today, we're diving into the story of one of them, Dancho Danchev, who's basically a relentless one-man army on a mission to keep our digital lives safe. But first, before we get to our hero, we've got to meet the villains of our story. These are the cybercriminals, the threat actors, lurking in the shadows of the internet. And these are the very people Danchev has dedicated his life to exposing. We're not talking about lone hackers in a basement here. These are organized, sophisticated groups who are constantly finding new ways to attack. All right, so here's how we're going to break down his incredible journey. We'll start by mapping out the world of cyber threats he works in, then jump back to his beginnings in the hacker's playground. We'll see how he became a one-man intelligence agency, step into the digital shadows where things got pretty dangerous, understand his core mission to inform everyone, and wrap it all up with some hard-earned wisdom from the firewall. To really get a handle on the hero, you've first got to understand the battlefield. And in cybersecurity, that battlefield is this huge, complex, and honestly, pretty treacherous digital world where new threats are popping up all the time. It's a world where things change in the blink of an eye. And in all that chaos, some people just become beacons. Their work cuts right through the noise and brings some much-needed clarity. In Dancho Danchev, he is absolutely one of those lighthouses. So the big question is, how did one person become such a powerful force in this field? Well, to figure that out, we've got to rewind things a bit, back to where it all started, in a world that was just beginning to come online. So picture this. It's the late 1990s in post-communist Bulgaria. Getting your hands on a computer wasn't super common, but it was starting to happen. And a young Dancho Danchev gets a PC from his grandparents. That one machine, that single gift, opened up this entirely new world for him and sparked this deep curiosity about the, enigmatic culture of hacking. And for him, this digital world wasn't about doing anything malicious. No way. It was his playground. What kicked off as an interest in gaming just blossomed into this fascination with figuring out how computers and, more importantly, their defenses actually worked. So that curiosity he had as a kid, it didn't just fade away. It got refined, it got sharpened, and eventually, it was forged into one of the most respected independent voices in threat intelligence. He started a blog, and it wasn't just another blog. It became this absolutely essential resource, a guiding light with over 7,000 people subscribing to his feed, just hungry for his next insight. And the impact? Just look at this number. It's staggering. Over 5.6 million page views. This wasn't just random traffic. This was real influence. His research was being read, it was being shared, and it was being used by cybersecurity pros all over the world to build better, stronger defenses. He says this with a bit of a laugh, but honestly, it's true. Think about it. Without the backing of some giant corporation or a government agency, he built this incredible reputation for groundbreaking research all on his own terms. He basically became his own brand. And he wasn't just talking about the news, he was breaking it. From his early work on these massive SEO poisoning attacks, where hackers trick search engines to spread malware, to exposing the underground markets where you could literally rent a botnet, his work provided the kind of actionable intelligence the industry was desperate for. But, when your whole job is exposing the secrets of dangerous cybercriminals, you're inevitably going to make some enemies. And at one point, the risks that came with his work became terrifyingly real. This is the question that sent a real chill through the entire cybersecurity community back in early 2011. Dancho Danchev, the guy who was always there, this digital guardian, had just gone silent. The timeline here is just stark. He was last heard from in August 2010. By January, the whole community was buzzing with rumors and speculation. Had his work finally caught up with him? Was he targeted by the same criminals he was exposing? Then, on January 21st, he was back. He was safe, but that whole incident left a mark. Now, after an ordeal like that, you'd think maybe he'd back off, right? Nope. His mission didn't change at all. If anything, it crystallized. His focus sharpened on what he believed was the most powerful weapon against cybercrime: sharing knowledge. He really sees himself as a conduit. His expertise isn't something he wants to hoard for himself. For him, it's a resource to be shared, to be distributed, so that the entire community is empowered in this sort of collective defense. And that is the engine that drives him. It's not about being famous or building a personal brand. It's about this deep, genuine desire to use his unique skills to push the whole field forward. And right here, this is the ultimate goal. It's a commitment to the greater good. Every single piece of analysis, every blog post he writes, is another step toward making the digital world a safer place for all of us. So yeah, his personal journey really forged his professional mission to take what he knows and turn it into a public good, sharing real, actionable intelligence with anyone who's eager to understand and defend against these threats. So after decades on the digital front lines, what's he learned? What kind of advice does he have for people who are trying to follow in his footsteps? Well, he boils it all down to a few key principles. And his advice is so refreshingly straightforward. First, master the fundamentals. You got to know the basics inside and out. Second, innovate from within. Don't just rely on what other people are doing. And third, and this is maybe the most important one, always focus on delivering real, tangible value to the people you're trying to protect. You know, Danchev's story is just this incredible, powerful reminder that one dedicated person with a real passion for knowledge and a commitment to the community can make a monumental difference. A single voice really can be heard above all the noise. His journey really did set a new standard for independent research and collaborative defense, and it leaves us all with a pretty critical question for the future of cybersecurity. As the threats keep evolving, who's going to be the next guardian to step up and light the way?